Before diving into the demands of this day, before checking notifications, replying to messages, or letting worries take up space in your mind, set aside this moment for you. Take a deep breath and slow down for a few seconds, because what you're about to hear right now is not just a message. It's a reminder of the strength, the courage, and the ability that still live inside you, even on the days when they seem far away. Every single day, you wake up with the chance to repeat the same patterns or to build a mindset stronger than the one you had yesterday. That is exactly the purpose of this moment. Not to create some fleeting motivation that fades away as the day goes on, but to strengthen your mindset so you can move forward with more clarity, more confidence, and more control over your own decisions. Every sentence in this message was crafted to help you see beyond the immediate struggles and reconnect you with the strength that has always been there, just waiting to be awakened. Today doesn't have to be just another ordinary day. Today can be the day you decide to think differently, act differently, and face life with a brand new attitude. So stay right here. Listen to every word carefully. Let this message find space inside you. Because sometimes a single decision made at the right moment is enough to change the course of an entire day. And before we go any further, write in the comments, "Today I choose to move forward." Write it with conviction, like a promise you're making to yourself. Because words repeated with intention stop being just sentences and start turning into direction. Every word you write strengthens the path your mind will follow throughout this day. So write it and let that change start inside you before it ever shows up in the world around you. Learn to protect your story with silence and wisdom. Not everything you feel needs to be shared. There are emotions, thoughts, and inner battles that deserve to stay with you. Not out of shame, not because there is something wrong with feeling what you feel, but because not every person has the maturity, the sensitivity, or the inner stillness needed to hold space for what you are going through. Many times you speak looking for relief, and you end up emptier than when you started, because the words that come back to you are not the ones you needed to hear. They are rushed pieces of advice, comparisons, judgments dressed up as care. And then something curious happens. The venting, which was supposed to heal, leaves behind a brand new wound. Learning to stay silent is not weakness. It is strength. It is the art of protecting what is still healing inside of you. It is nurturing your own process, far from the eyes that cannot see with depth. We live in a time when everyone talks. Silence has become awkward. Discretion is mistaken for coldness. But those who truly understand life know silence is wise. It teaches you to listen to yourself, to understand what you feel before turning it into words, to process your experiences without needing anyone else's approval. Telling too much about something good is, very often, giving away your own power. And telling too much about a pain is handing the keys to your weaknesses to people who may not know how to handle them with respect. Some people listen to help, others listen to judge, others listen to compare. And there are those who listen only so that one day they can use what they heard against you. True emotional strength lies in knowing when to speak and when to stay quiet. Stoicism teaches us that self-mastery begins in the mind and shows itself in our words. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, each in his own way, reminded us that prudence is an essential virtue. Speak only when your words carry purpose. The wise person does not need to be on display all the time, because his inner peace does not depend on being heard. It depends on being at peace with himself. It is not about being understood by others. It is about being true to yourself. Before you speak about what hurts, ask yourself an honest question. Does this person have the emotional capacity to listen to me right now? If the answer is no, stay silent. And do not see that as loneliness. See it as respect for what you are carrying. Some wounds heal better in silence, far from the noise, far from the opinions. only with your own reflection and your own peace of mind. You can write about what you feel, you can meditate, you can cry if you need to. But do not hand your intimacy over to someone who will not know how to take care of it. When you learn to control your words, something changes deeply inside of you. You realize that many things do not need to be explained. That calmness is not born from talking about everything, but from choosing with a clear mind what deserves to be said and what deserves to remain only yours. Speaking less gives you back control, gives you back clarity, gives you back power over your own emotions. Because whoever masters his own silence masters his own inner world. And if the need to vent hits hard, find ways that nourish you instead of draining you. Write in a journal and let the ink carry what weighs on you. Look for a person you trust with true listening, one of those rare souls who listen without rushing to reply. Because you do not need many ears, you need one sincere ear. True catharsis does not come from being heard by others. It comes from learning to listen to yourself. Calmness grows in those who no longer feel the need to explain themselves all the time. You are not required to justify your feelings. You are not required to hand over every detail of your life. Keep to yourself what is still in process. Protect what is still being born inside of you. Not every silence is empty. Some are sanctuaries, places where your mind rebuilds itself and your spirit grows stronger, far from the judgment of the world. With time, you will realize, not talking about everything does not isolate you, it sets you free. You stop reacting, and you start observing. You stop explaining yourself, and you start understanding yourself. And in that conscious silence, you find something that very few people ever find: power, clarity, and peace. Remember, whoever masters his own silence masters his own world. Discretion is not weakness. It is an invisible shield that separates the wise minds from the noisy souls. And I want you to seal this commitment right now by writing in the comments, "Today, I protect my silence." Because starting this morning, you stop handing your intimacy over to just anyone, and you begin to build in silence the inner fortress that no one can ever invade. At the Stoic House, we cultivate the mind one day at a time. If this resonates with you, hit the like button and subscribe before we move on to the next meditation. Choose carefully the people you let into your life. Not everyone deserves a place in your life. Some people come into it to teach you, others come to walk with you for a stretch of the road, and some, without you even noticing, come only to test your ability to set boundaries. But the most common mistake, the one that steals the peace of so many good people, is trying to keep everyone close, even when your body has already warned you, even when your inner silence has already screamed that not everyone is good for you. The energy you allow around you shapes your mind, your emotions, and over time your destiny. There are people who push you forward, who lift you up, who when they walk away leave you wanting to be a better version of yourself. And there are those who confuse you and dim your light from within. Learning to tell one from the other is not selfishness, it is emotional survival. Every conversation leaves a mark. Every connection imprints something on you. That is why, pay attention to how you feel after being with someone. If you walk away feeling light, inspired, at peace, that is a path worth cultivating. But if you walk away exhausted, tense, irritated, or empty without knowing why, listen to that sign. Your environment is not nourishing you, it is quietly consuming you. You do not need to hate anyone. You do not need to create conflict. You only need to recognize with honesty where you are and where your energy flourishes. Nothing grows in barren soil, and no one moves forward surrounded by people who, deep down, do not believe in your growth or worse, who are bothered by it. Stoicism teaches that your serenity depends in large part on the influences you allow into your world. Seneca reminded us of a simple and powerful truth. The company of the wise lifts the soul. The company of fools poisons it. The wise person chooses their environment with care, because whoever mixes with chaos ends up losing their own inner clarity. And here is something important. Be grateful for the lessons left by those who walked away. Not everyone who left your life left out of betrayal. Some people walked away because their time with you simply came to an end. Knowing how to let go is an act of maturity. Perhaps one of the hardest things life will ever ask of you. Let go without resentment, without bitterness. Because even those who let you down taught you something precious. They showed you exactly the kind of energy you no longer want close to you. Every relationship, good or bad, was a teacher. Each one helped you know yourself a little better. Now, with what you have learned, begin to consciously build a healthy environment around you. Surround yourself with people who add to your life, people who tell you the truth, who celebrate your wins without envy, who stand by you in your falls without competition. The quality of your environment defines the quality of your mind. And if, at some point, you spot toxic behavior or manipulative people around you, do not make excuses for them. Compassion does not mean letting yourself be worn down. You can step away with respect, but also with firmness. You are not obligated to remain where your light is not welcome. Taking care of your circle is taking care of your peace. Not everyone who smiles at you wishes you well, and not everyone who criticizes you hates you. Over time, and this is one of the clearest signs of growing up, you learn to recognize the difference between someone who corrects you out of love and someone who corrects you out of ego. And you come to realize that you do not have to confront everyone. It is enough to observe. It is enough to make decisions in silence. Walking away quietly is also a powerful answer, sometimes the most powerful one of all. When you start surrounding yourself with people who vibrate on the same frequency as you, something shifts. You feel lightness where there used to be weight, flow where there used to be struggle. Your ideas grow, your emotions steady themselves, your spirit grows stronger. And this does not happen by chance. It is the direct result of a conscious choice. You are, day after day, building fertile ground for your own growth. Not everyone deserves a place in your life. Some are only passing through, others came to stay. And some, the rare ones, deserve to walk beside you for a long time. Learn to recognize each one with your heart, but also with your mind. Life becomes lighter when you wisely decide who comes in and who stays. Take care of your surroundings, because your inner balance depends on them. Choose relationships that inspire you, not the ones that drain you, because at the end of the day, your peace is worth more than any company. And when someone leaves, let them go in silence. When someone stays, love with presence. And when your heart recognizes someone who vibrates in the same place as yours, hold that person close, because souls like that, in the middle of all the noise of the world, are rare. And your journey is far too important to be walked alongside someone who does not see your worth. Don't live to fit in, live to be at peace with yourself. Tranquility arrives the day you stop seeking approval and start acting according to your convictions. You spend a good part of your life trying to fit in, trying to make everyone agree with you, trying to make sure no one gets offended, that no one gets bothered, that everyone understands you. But this is one of the most silent and devastating traps of human existence. Pleasing everyone is impossible, and trying to do this all the time will, little by little, turn you into someone who no longer lives their own life, but only fulfills the expectations of others. And in this process, without you noticing, you start to lose yourself. You soften opinions, swallow truths, hide choices. You edit your essence so as not to displease, and when you realize it, you no longer know where your voice ends and where the noise of the world begins. True peace arises in the instant you stop worrying about what others think of you and begin to ask yourself one single thing: is this in line with who I am? When your well-being depends on someone else's opinion, you become a prisoner of other people's judgment. Your inner voice grows quieter and quieter. You begin to doubt yourself. You start depending on external validation as if it were oxygen. But listen carefully, you don't need approval to do what is right. You don't need permission to follow your own path. Emotional freedom begins exactly the moment you act with coherence. Even if no one applauds you, even if no one understands, even if silence is the only answer you receive. Stoicism teaches this with a clarity that crosses the centuries. Serenity comes from acting according to your reason and your virtue, not according to the opinion of others. Epictetus stated that those who live in search of approval drift away from wisdom, because they hand over their own power to the judgment of others. For him, peace of mind is born from faithfulness to oneself, from choosing what is right, even when the entire world disagrees. Stand firm in your inner truth. Listen to your voice before making decisions. That voice is wiser than you imagine. Sometimes it speaks calmly, like a gentle intuition. Sometimes it speaks in an uncomfortable way, pulling you out of your comfort zone. But it always speaks with sincerity. Do not search outside for what only you can confirm within yourself. Before each choice, ask honestly, does this bring me peace, or does it force me to pretend? If the answer is to pretend, then that is not for you. No matter how brilliant it may seem on the outside, if it requires you to betray yourself on the inside, it is not worth the price. Acting by conviction does not mean closing your ears to the world. It means filtering what truly adds value and discarding what only tries to shape you. It means listening, yes, but not obeying blindly. And it means, above all, no longer justifying decisions that were born from your honesty. You do not need to explain your path to those who never walked it with you. If you know that what you do comes from integrity, you have nothing to defend. People will always have something to say. You will always be criticized for being brave, and you will be criticized for standing still. You will be criticized for speaking, and you will be criticized for staying silent. But when your actions are born from true coherence, no criticism can really shake you. You learn to live with serenity even in the middle of the noise. Remember, those who truly care about you do not need to understand you in everything. They only need to respect you. The right people will not demand that you betray yourself in order to be accepted. They will not punish you for choosing to be different. They will learn to value your authenticity even when they do not share it. And if someone walks away because you stopped meeting their expectations, be grateful in silence, give thanks. Because that person has simply freed you from the burden of forced approval and given you back the space to breathe as you are. Living by conviction is not selfishness. It is self-love. It is recognizing that you were not born to please, but to walk with purpose. Your life gains meaning when it is guided by your truth, not by the applause of the world. And the more centered in yourself you are, the less you will need recognition to feel whole. True tranquility is born when your decisions stop depending on the audience, when you can sleep in peace, knowing that you acted with integrity, even if no one noticed, even if no one applauded, even if the entire world was looking the other way. This is the greatest freedom a human being can reach, the freedom to be who you are without asking permission from anyone. A bad day doesn't mean a bad life. There are days when you feel like everything is falling apart, days when life seems to grow heavier than you can carry, when nothing goes as planned, when your thoughts come tinged with doubt, and even the simple things, getting out of bed, replying to a message, smiling, weigh on you as if they were too big to bear. But listen to what I'm about to tell you and hold this deep in your heart. These storms don't come to destroy you. They come to teach you what you're made of. There is no growth in constant calm. Anyone who has never been shaken by life has never discovered the depth of their own roots. It's in the shocks, in the moments when everything seems to collapse, that you're forced to find your true strength. The kind that lives in a place too deep to be reached on quiet days, and no storm lasts forever, not one. But each one, as it passes, leaves a lesson inside you that makes you wiser, more serene, more resilient, more aware of your own power. When pain arrives, the first impulse is to escape. You want answers, you want immediate relief, you want a quick way out that makes it all disappear. But sometimes the only true way out is to walk through it, calmly, without fighting against the inevitable. Observe the pain instead of identifying with it. Welcome it as a temporary visitor, one that came to say something and will soon be on its way. Because everything that feels like it's ending today may in truth be the beginning of something much stronger inside you. You're not broken. You're under construction. You're being shaped, polished, sculpted by life itself, and at the end of each storm, you find yourself more whole than you were before. Stoicism teaches us this with profound clarity. Hardships are the raw material of character. Trials are not punishments from fate. They are opportunities to practice virtue, patience, and serenity. For the Stoics, the mind that learns to remain calm in the midst of adversity becomes, over time, invincible. External circumstances may change 1,000 times, but the cultivated soul stays the same, steady, aware, firm. So when you're walking through a bad day, remember two things. Don't make important decisions driven by sadness, and don't judge your entire life from a single moment of darkness. Intense emotions distort reality. What feels like the end today, tomorrow will be just another page in your story, a page you won't even reread with the same weight. So, wait, calm yourself, allow yourself to rest, but don't give up. There is a big difference between pausing and giving up. The pause gives you back your clarity. Surrender steals your power away. Sometimes all you need to find your balance again is a small gesture that reminds you that you're still in control. Going for a walk, even with no destination in mind. Writing down what you feel, even if it comes out tangled. Taking 3 deep breaths. Looking up at the sky for a few seconds. Small gestures that don't change the world out there, but they change the world in here. And it's precisely in these simple acts that you take back the helm of your own life. When you decide not to let the storm overcome you, you begin to transform it. So don't try to eliminate hardships. Try to grow through them. Every time you walk through a trial, your soul grows stronger. You learn to trust yourself more, to depend less on the world, to find calm even where there was once only fear. The storm loses its power to frighten you the moment you understand that it too shall pass. There is no eternal pain. There is no endless darkness. What always remains after everything settles down is your ability to persevere, your calm, your composure, your dignity as someone who stayed standing. Strength is not built on easy days. It is built precisely on the days when everything seems impossible. Those moments when you thought you couldn't bear it are, in truth, the ones that matter most. They are the ones that transform you. Every fall, every loss, every doubt carries a hidden purpose, a lesson that only reveals itself later when you look back and realize how much you have grown. You can still rise again. You always can. Because inside you, there is a strength far greater than any circumstance has ever been able to measure. Storms are passing things. Your strength, when cultivated with calm and patience, is permanent. So, when everything around you seems to crumble, don't run. Breathe, wait, trust, because nothing lasts forever. Not the pain, not the fear, not this night that today feels so long, but peace. Yes, peace endures. The inner strength you build by walking through each storm stays with you for the rest of your life. And one day when someone looks at you and asks how you became so steady, so serene, so whole, you'll smile in silence, because only you will know about the nights when you stayed standing, when everything inside you was begging to fall. Stop looking at other people's paths and focus on your own. Comparing yourself to others is one of the quietest and most devastating ways to destroy your inner peace. You start out admiring and end up feeling like you don't measure up. You watch how people move forward, achieve things, smile, show off lives that look perfect, and without even realizing it, you start to believe that you're behind, that you're falling behind, that somehow life is moving faster for everyone else than it is for you. But what you see is only part of the story, a filtered, edited, and incomplete version. You don't know the sleepless nights of doubt behind that smile. You haven't seen the stumbles, the sacrifices, the invisible scars that hold up every win someone else celebrates. Nobody posts their own falls, only the final result, perfectly lit up. And it's against that illusion that you are, every single day, measuring your real life. Every person walks a different path, on a different timeline, with different lessons. And all you do when you compare yourself is take your eyes off your own road, the exact road that no one but you can walk. Comparison kills joy in a subtle way. It steals your attention from the present. While you're watching what everyone else is doing, you stop noticing everything you yourself have already accomplished. You lose the ability to feel grateful. You lose your taste for your own process. You start running a race with no finish line because no matter how hard you push, there will always be someone who, at first glance, seems to be ahead. But what matters isn't who gets there first. It's who gets there true to themselves. Stoicism teaches us that the real measure of progress isn't in the looks coming from outside, but in what happens inside of you. Virtue and inner peace don't come from comparing yourself to others, but from comparing yourself to who you were yesterday. The right question was never, am I ahead of him? The right question has always been, am I wiser, calmer, and stronger today than I was yesterday? Envying what others have is ignoring the wealth you already carry within you. Wisdom lies in mastering your own thoughts, not in competing with someone else's road. So, turn off the noise the moment you notice it shrinking you. Step away from social media when it stops informing you and starts eating away at you. Nobody shows their own storm. Everyone posts their own calm. And if you measure your life by how things look on the outside for other people, you will feel forever that something is missing, even when, on the inside, you already have more than you can imagine. Look at everything you have overcome, at everything that seemed impossible 1 year ago, at the you from 12 months ago, and realize that he would be proud to meet you today. Every step counts. Every small step forward is proof of your growth. Try this exercise. Write down your progress from the last few months. It doesn't matter if there weren't any big outward wins. Real progress is rarely visible from the outside. Maybe you have learned to keep your temper in check. Maybe you have become more patient. Maybe you're taking care of your health with more love, or learning to say no without guilt, or listening more closely to the people you love. Those are wins that are invisible to the world and life-changing for your soul. Write them down, read them out loud, and feel gratitude, not out of pride, but because recognizing your own journey is the first step to keep walking with peace. And when you see someone reaching a milestone, don't feel threatened. Congratulate them sincerely, recognize the person's effort, but keep your eyes on your own horizon. Other people's joy doesn't take away from yours. The sun that shines on them doesn't take away the light that is being held for you. Comparing yourself doesn't get you there any faster. It only keeps you from enjoying the journey. Every person is in a different season of life, and that is absolutely normal. Some flowers bloom in the spring, others only bloom at the end of the summer. but every single one of them, without exception, blooms when its time comes. Yours will come too. Maybe it's already on its way, without you even noticing. The only competition that matters is the one that takes place inside of you. When you stop comparing yourself, you discover something rare and powerful: inner satisfaction. You stop chasing approval because you understand that your worth never depended on being better than anyone. You start celebrating your own steps, your own efforts, your own small wins without needing an audience. Comparison kills joy, but self-knowledge gives it back, more mature and more your own than before. Learn to look at your life with kindness. Recognize that your process has its own rhythm, written by a story that only you are living. Appreciate who you are today and keep building, with patience, who you want to be tomorrow. Because the day you stop running to catch up with other people is the day you finally start walking at your own pace, in your own time, on your own ground. And that is when, exactly then, the peace you were always searching for in other people finally begins, at last, to be born inside of you. Let go of the guilt and the fear of the future. You can't redo yesterday. You can't control tomorrow. The only thing that truly belongs to you is this moment, the now. But how often do you find yourself stuck outside of it? How many times do you revisit old conversations, replay in your head the words you didn't say, carry the guilt of choices you can no longer change? Or else you race ahead, stumbling over problems that haven't arrived yet, imagining scenarios that may never exist. In this back and forth between what has already passed and what is yet to come, you lose, without realizing it, the only thing that is truly real: the present. It is as if you were walking through life dragging a suitcase full of stones, heavy and unnecessary, a suitcase that keeps you from moving forward with lightness, and life never asked that of you. It never asked you to carry the past on your back, nor to predict every twist and turn of tomorrow. All it asks of you is one simple thing, and at the same time, the hardest of them all: your presence. The past has already played its part. Every mistake, every fall, every wrong decision came with a lesson tucked inside. But if you keep punishing yourself for what happened, instead of learning, you remain in exactly the same place, only more tired. Forgiving yourself does not erase what you have lived. It simply turns it into wisdom. Letting go of destructive self-criticism is an act of self-love. It is recognizing with honesty that you did the best you could with the level of awareness you had back then. Today, you know more. Today, you are a different person, and that is exactly why, from here on out, you can do better. Who you are today does not deserve to pay forever for the choices of who you used to be. Stoicism teaches us that our true power lies only in what is within our control: our thoughts, our actions, and the decisions we make in the present. That is why worrying about what is beyond our reach is wasting energy and peace. For them, whoever learns to focus on the present moment reaches true inner freedom, because from that center, nothing on the outside can disturb your mind. Thinking too much about the future creates anxiety because you are trying to control something that does not even exist yet. The future is wide open, and that is precisely what makes it valuable. Worry does not stop problems from arriving. It only makes you suffer twice, once in anticipation before they happen, and again when and if they actually do happen. And many of them never arrive at all. Instead of trying to plan every detail of what is to come, learn to trust your ability to adapt. You can't control the wind, but you can adjust the sails. That is the secret. Whoever trusts themselves does not need to control the world, because they know they will handle whatever comes. When the weight of the past begins to suffocate you, or when the fear of tomorrow begins to steal your peace, stop. Just stop. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. Inhale fully. Hold it for a few seconds, and release slowly. Feel your mind loosen with every exhale. If you feel the need, write down what you are feeling. Writing is freeing because it turns the chaos in your head into clarity on paper. Let the thoughts flow without judging them, and you will notice that many of them were only noise trying to pass itself off as truth. And repeat this sentence every single day until it becomes a part of you. The present is the only place where I have power. Make it your mantra, because every time you repeat it, you remind your mind that it is here and only here that everything is built. The past can no longer be changed. The future can only be transformed through the actions you take now, in this very moment. Not through worry, not through inner rumination, only through what you choose to do with this moment. And it is incredible what happens when you decide to truly be here. You step out of autopilot, you stop being a hostage to memory, and you stop living while waiting for tomorrow. You begin to notice the details that used to slip right by, the air entering your lungs, the light on the wall, the sounds around you, the small blessings disguised as everyday life. And in that full awareness, without hurry, the calm you spent so long searching for in other places is born. True peace does not lie in having a perfect past, nor in securing a future without surprises. It lies in learning to live in balance with today. This moment is your refuge, your center, your space of power. Do not let the weight of yesterday or the anxiety of tomorrow ruin what is happening right now. Remember, the past taught you something, but it does not define you. The future has not yet arrived, and it does not deserve your suffering in advance. The present is the only place where you truly live and where everything can still be built. Let go of what you cannot change. Stop imagining what has not yet happened and come back to this moment with everything that you are. Because when you manage to be completely present, you notice something profound. Nothing is missing. You are whole. You are here. You are alive. And that, in and of itself, is already everything. That is where the mind finds its clarity. That is where the soul finds its true freedom. And it is there in silence that you discover what has always been waiting for you. Not in the yesterday that is gone, nor in the tomorrow that is still to come, but right here, in this moment where your life, at last, finds you. Take a deep breath now. You have just walked a silent path with me. A path that few have the courage to take because it requires something rare in this noisy world. To stop, to listen, and to look within. You could be doing 1,000 other things right now. You could have scrolled past, you could have gotten distracted, you could have run from the silence the way so many people do. But you stayed. And just that alone says a great deal about who you are and about who you are becoming. Because understand one thing, ordinary people wait for life to happen. Rare people stop to build within themselves the foundation that will hold up everything that is to come. And that is exactly what you have just done. You did not receive only words today. You received seeds, and those seeds now are planted in soil that only you know, the deep soil of your soul. Some will sprout tomorrow, the first moment someone tests your patience, and you, instead of reacting, choose wise silence. Others will sprout weeks from now, when you look at someone walking away from your life and, for the first time, feel gratitude instead of hurt. And others will sprout months from now, on some ordinary morning, when you wake up and notice, with surprise, that the anxiety that had followed you for so long simply is no longer there. That is real transformation, the transformation of someone who is, day after day, becoming a more whole person. Look at yourself now, with honesty. You are no longer the same person who pressed play on this audio. Something inside you, even if small, even if subtle, has already moved. And it is from that movement, that small inner shift, that the great changes of a life are born. You do not need to become a different person to find peace. You only need to return to who you have always been on the inside before the world taught you to doubt yourself. before the comparisons, before the demands, before the noise. There exists somewhere inside you a version of yourself that has not yet been touched by any of it, serene, clear, steady, free. And it is that version that these meditations came to wake up. It has been there the entire time, just waiting for you to remember. And now you have remembered. From today on, you know that silence is also a form of strength. You know that choosing carefully who comes into your life is protecting your own future. You know that living by conviction is worth infinitely more than living for applause. You know that a bad day is only a day, not your whole life. You know that other people's paths were never your map, and you know deep in your chest that the present is the only true ground you stand on. You know all of this now, and knowing changes everything, because from the moment something becomes conscious inside you, it never again leaves you in peace the same way. It pulls you always in the direction of your own growth. So lift your head, straighten your spine, breathe with the depth of someone who has understood something essential about their own existence. Because life is not waiting for you to feel ready. It is waiting for you to begin, to take the next step, even if small, to make the next decision, even if hard, to open the next door, even if afraid. And fear will be there, yes. But the fear of someone who keeps walking is worth 1,000 times more than the false safety of someone who stands still their whole life waiting for the perfect courage that never comes. You are stronger than you imagine, wiser than you give yourself credit for, more resilient than your own doubts could ever measure. And everything you have walked through up to this point, every pain, every loss, every difficult night, every morning when you got up, even without wanting to, was exactly what brought you to this moment. None of those battles were in vain. Each one of them was, in silence, preparing you for the person you are becoming now. And that person, I promise you, is someone the world needs. Today is not just another day. Today is the beginning of something inside you. Something silent, something firm, something no one can take from you, because it did not come from the outside. It was born from your own inner world. The storms will come, that is true. People will fail you, that is true. Life will test you, that is true. But now, unlike before, you carry within you an anchor, a deep root, a silent center that no outside circumstance can shake. When you walk away from here, do not walk away the same. Walk away as someone who has chosen, consciously, to live another way. Walk away in silence, when silence is wiser. Walk away firm, when you need to hold to your truth. Walk away with gratitude for what stayed behind. And walk away, above all, with the certainty that the peace you spent so long searching for out there has always been waiting, patient, in here. Remember this tomorrow, when the world tries to rush you. Remember this the day after tomorrow, when someone tries to throw you off your center. Remember this 1 year from now, when you look back and barely recognize the fragile person you once believed yourself to be. You are, from this moment on, someone who has chosen to build themselves from within. And whoever builds themselves from within is never again vulnerable to the storms outside in the same way. May your mind be steady, may your heart be serene, may your silence be wise. May your choices be your own, may your peace be non-negotiable, and may every morning when you open your eyes, you remember who you are on the inside and walk forward with your head held high, knowing that the world can take many things from you. But never, never again will it be able to take who you truly are. Go in peace, go in silence, go in strength. And always remember, you are a rare soul, walking through a difficult time with a light inside you that many people cannot even imagine. Protect that light, nurture that light, and may it light up, in silence, every step of your journey from here on. Because the world needs fewer noisy people and more people like the one you are learning to be. May the Stoic house be your refuge whenever the world feels heavy. Leave in the comments the ideas you like the most in this video. Like it, share it, and subscribe to continue this journey with me. Thank you for watching.